So we've got box open right here because of this right here. So this is my Stihl backpack blower. This is the BR800X. Awesome engine, but came across a little bit of an issue. Blower fan wheel. So, and it's specific for the BR800. And when you look at that molded part, looks like we've got a slight little issue going on here. So, and that makes it so you cannot use the equipment. Now, fortunately, 4 years later, supposedly, it's covered under warranty. We'll see if that's really the case. Unfortunately, as far as I'm aware, the Stihl blower division of equipment is China. Could be a problem with sourcing parts because even what the dealer was saying, so it's Morrison's out of Plymouth, Morrison's Power Equipment. Company itself is a great company. The guys there usually do whatever it takes to help you out and get things sorted out, but talking to the guy, he's like, you know, when we, you know, research the part number in our books for that, we're coming up kind of, something's up. Well, what do you mean? He goes, well, it says the part's out of stock, but also when we go and look, we can't find it, meaning like something's wrong with the part number. So it's like, oh no, China. So even like myself, I go online and I can search the part number. You know, the place that comes up is eBay and it's takeoffs. If this fractured little molded sleeve or whatever the heck you want to call that goes onto the shaft, just, it came apart. Dude, it was like I was using it. I mean, this thing, for the amount of time that this thing has been run, it's hugely disappointing. But anyways, so Vevor to the rescue, dude. I'm not saying that this is equipment that is going to be better than Stihl, but inside the box here, we have got Vevor's latest, greatest backpack blower. So this is their most powerful unit. Let's see, what do we got here? Whole bunch of just, yeah, whatever. So there's your model, QS25Q79BF. I believe it's a 79cc. It says Euro or EPA, so, but what's kind of cool, dude, is it came with literally everything. So it's even got your spark plug wrench, and I'm assuming stuff to help get this thing together. Toolkit. Put that over there. Dude, check this out. It's the cheesiest, like, earmuffs, but dude, you know what? The earmuffs, regardless, still gives you some type of hearing protection. And aren't those Brazilian colors right there? The blue and yellow and white? I think that's Brazilian. Looks like we even have a fuel mix bottle. Oh, so they are a 30-to-1 mix ratio for this unit. That's a lot of oil. So obviously the higher the number is, the less oil it is. So it's like Stihl runs now 50-to-1. They used to run 32-to-1. When I got this piece of equipment, I had noticed, I think it's on the side here, somewhere over here it says 50-to-1 or something. At least I thought it did. In the manual it says 50-to-1. But the older equipment, like my Stihl BR600, which is an absolute beast, it still runs, dude. That thing is like, I swear that thing's like 30 years old, the BR600 that I've got. It's old and had been commercially abused for years. Got a hawk right there. Look at that. Look at him. Where's Colby? Colby, where are you, buddy? Okay. Yeah, I don't want you to be hawk food. He's searching. But anyways, back to this. So yeah, it is assembly required. Backpack, gas-powered leaf blower instruction manual. So should in here probably give instruction. Yeah, there we go, right there. There's a fully assembled unit right there. Like I said, this is their the biggest unit that they've got. Again, I'm going to do a comparison once I get this back, provided that they can fix the thing. I don't know how long it's going to take, dude, because them not being able to find the part and something being up with the part number, it's just like, oh no. So there's your parts list. Looks like it's got a couple of tubes, you got a throttle lever, it's got your protective ear muffs. Oh, wait a minute, that says 50 to 1. Wait a minute. That says 30 to 1. Oh, 50 to 1 on here. Oh, what the hell does that mean? Usually use my mix ratio cup that I've got when I do stuff. But anyways, so we got another blower thing here. Looks like that might have something to do with the throttle. So I'm thinking almost, it looks like maybe the throttle kind of slots onto that possibly. This tube here. Oh, this is the extendable nozzle. So it's got the extension piece right in here. So we'll have to figure that out. And this is the elbow. And again, you're not going to come across the same quality that you will with something like this. This is commercial grade. This is like, you know, homeowner grade. For the price, the unit's got some heft to it. That's a pretty big unit. Box, pretty well protected. They didn't have anything on this side right here, but the other sides and the bottom had protection for this thing. So gas tank is huge, dude. So this is a good look at the unit. So the way Stihl does things is things are more enveloped and encapsulated. Even like the gas tank, things are just designed different. Things are like on suspension and all that stuff. Not the gas tank, but the unit. So like you can see how this is, you know, basically flexing away from the base because it does have a type of suspension on here. We got the straps here, nice. You know, again, this is kind of what you're gonna have to expect, this kind of clamping system, put things together, but there's your suspension right there. Kind of looks, damn, dude, this thing is bigger than I thought it was gonna be. I was thinking this unit was gonna be smaller. It's actually almost bigger than the Stihl unit. So looking at this thing, it's got flexibility, pieces, parts. You got a choke switch. Up position is choke, down position is running full. Got a little turn thing here to probably get after the air filter. That's nice, it's captured. Bring this one down. Get a look at the, oh, look at that. Got a pleated paper filter in there. And there's the choke, so you can see it's choked. So, okay. Not too bad. I like the fact that these are captured. Because if this thing just kind of like flew off, that would kind of be garbage, dude. Got some nice clear fuel lines in there. Does this have a primer bulb? It does. So underneath, so this is also where things are going to be a little bit different. Designed for commercial grade, everyday kind of use. This, we'll see. It does have like a little sleeve for the ripcord here. That's actually cool to see. Kind of like an ergonomic kind of thing. 2 fingers on the bottom, 1 finger on the top. Not too bad. Thinking it might have a spark arrestor. We'll see. Sparks and flames coming out of there. Watch out, so that's obviously just indicating a heat zone. Spark plug, pretty accessible right there. Yeah, it's got a spark plug. Okay. Little thing pulled off. Have to push that back into place here. So this is kind of like a debris screen. Really not like the best. So I'm saying like how that's molded, but it works. I'm gonna wear like a hoodie that has drawstrings because the drawstring could potentially get stuck in there. So pads kind of feel kind of okay. Got a little bit of mesh on the inside for breathability. When you're looking at the Stihl, obviously this is going to be a better quality. You know, they got the orange and black. It's not breathable though, or at least maybe it doesn't kind of like appear breathable. This damn thing is pretty big. Look at that. Nice cushion back pad. Wow. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna get this thing put together, mix up some fuel, some 50 to 1. So the fuel that I've already got, that's 50 to 1, is all ready to go for this thing. That's cool. I'm gonna even use the earmuffs, dude. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing assembled, and then I'll be back. So here's everything all laid out. Got our instruction manual, toolkit. Go ahead and kind of put this off to the side for now. Got the unit up on a table. These are the tubes. You got your flex tube, and then you got your extension tube. And like I said, I think this is for where the throttle goes, because when you look in there, you can see there's a slot and a hole in the screw. So that's where that is going to go through on there. And it looks like it is kind of adjustable. We'll see. Again, like I said, you're not talking this level of equipment, but if it gets the job done, then that's where, potentially somebody like me has already been, what's the word? Can't even think of what the word is. My mind's gone. Dangers and all this other garbage. Keep a firm grip. I will say right away, not super ergonomic, but keep in mind, I'm coming from professional equipment. The way the other trigger works is different. You can hear things just sound China different. The switch isn't really super ergonomic to get to, but that's okay. It does work. I don't know if it's waterproof. I wouldn't go ahead and leave something like this outside, where maybe something like that is just a little bit different. You can more so go ahead and not necessarily leave it outside, use it in inclement weather. So you'll probably have to just be a little bit easier with this unit. Yeah, you don't want to be blowing leaves in the rain anyway. So there's your stop button, start. There's your fuel or your trigger. And then this is different. So on the Stihl, you would set the trigger to where you would want it, and you could lock it down. And it's also the on-off switch. This one, it's got turtle down there and then rabbit up there, so you can see as you slide this basically up, it's like a friction switch. So it's attached to there somehow inside. So just different, just a different way of doing things. And see, it's funny is it's talking about a ground wire. There ain't no ground wire. What are you talking about? Some of these units, see, what does it say? There is no ground wire. Lubricate the pipes a little to facilitate assembly. So pass the ground wire through the flexible hose. That there's, unless it's like somehow stuck in there, I'll have to see. The BR600 does have it. It's got a ground, kind of like a wire that kind of fans out at the end. And because of the air friction, you could potentially get, like static electricity buildup. So this one doesn't seem to have it. So we'll see. I'll reach my hand in here. There's definitely nothing in there. And there's no ground here, so I don't know what they're talking about with the ground wire. So assembling there's no ground wire. So like even when you're like looking at this, there's no ground wire. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just for a different unit. Maybe this unit just doesn't need it. Screw. So I'm just gonna figure this out. It should be pretty easy. Certain things are just very self-explanatory. One side is smaller than the other side. You would normally think it would go this way, but it definitely doesn't. So it goes this way. And like they were saying, was to put a little bit of lubrication. GoPro cut me off. So like I was saying, I was kind of just demonstrating some of these parts. So obviously you know where things go. Like, because obviously that's the way the handle's going to go. That piece is going to slot into there. This has got like that little key that goes into that little keyed section, and then it slides over or turns and locks. So we'll have to see what the hell's that screw for. It's got this little turn piece here. You can see it slides out. So, and it looks like it could have another keyed section on the end there, maybe as a reducer nozzle, but this being their bigger unit, you probably don't want to reduce it. So that's a pretty big exhaust pipe right there. So, and it does have, again, this little turn thing. So, it's just designed the way they've got it. So a little, and that is a band style clamp. I think I was talking about this trigger. I don't know if that's in the video, but it had the stop start. I don't know if it's waterproof. Trigger, and then with the way the turtle to rabbit works, it's just a different style. Trigger is there. Kind of has like a grippy feel to this portion where your hand goes. Usually with something like this, I would think that I'd want to run a heavier oil through it for its first run. Like I said, I'm going to keep this clamp onto the outside of this. We'll loosen it up a little bit. Slide that on, give it a tighten. So you just don't want this coming up like anywhere near like your elbow or your body or whatever. Might even have this to the bottom, we'll see, because you can see we've got this piece right here, which if your elbow comes across, it could grab you. So maybe I'll spin that around. Yeah, you know what? I think I'll spin that around. So maybe like that, I guess. That way it's kind of out of the way. So we'll try that, see if that works. And this is going to be the next piece. It's going to slide into that, like that. Now this one can clamp any way because this is adjustable. How do I want this? Like that. Have it underneath. Not the best tools that they give you. Just don't want to over clamp stuff, over tighten. We'll just go like that for now. Gotta take out that screw, provide an Allen wrench. That's gonna go like that. And the wire's gonna have to be to the inside. Make sure we don't lose that nut. So I'll line that up. Give this a little bit of a crank. Okay. So that's still loose. Go ahead and take the tube. We'll lock the tube on. What the hell is that screw for? Oh, there's a little nutsert right there. So when this locks on, that gets locked into there. Slot into there, like that. And that's gonna lock the position. Take this screw, and supposedly, look at that, it's not screwing in. So it must need to be locked. Turn this, tighten that up. Oh, there we go. Okay. Wow. So this is actually loose. That's kind of a different way of doing it. I just want to toss this thing on because I want to feel where that is located. Damn, this thing is huge, dude. Weighs a couple pounds too. That's not bad. Definitely different with how this is going here. So I am going to have to tighten some stuff up a little bit better. I'm going to want to move that out further, I think. Cable doesn't really, well, there we go. So I'm going to do some adjustment here, and I'll be back. Yeah, let's do some adjusting here, and we'll be back. So this is what the unit looks like assembled. We'll get some fuel in there, prime it up, get some things tightened up, and then we'll take it for its first rip. Not too keen on how the ripcord here, not the ripcord, the power cord. It does have to go to the inside with the way this is designed. I'm not really liking how this is back here. They got it zip tied, so there's like an oddity to that. What the hell? Oh, never mind, dude. Check it out. There's the ground cord. So there is a ground wire. I just had to find it. Just wanted to show the fact that I am throwing the ground wire in there. It's a little odd how this is done. Not sure if I really agree, but this is a ground wire kind of going in there. Like I was saying, in the 600, the 800 doesn't have it. So I'm not sure what the difference is here, but we're gonna go ahead and get this done. This wire, really not liking how it's routed, but we're just gonna stay with it right now. You can see, it's just kind of like there's no like way that this, there's no like cable routing. Look how that's done, dude. Hey, at least they did the zip tie so you can find it. Holy crap, dude. Look at that. It's the Ginsu right there. That'll let you know where it is. They flush cut that one, kind of, sort of. It's still there, nice and sharp, so just be careful. But damn it, look at that thing. That's a sword. China. So what I will say, the Phillips doesn't allow you to over torque. So it'll basically kind of like fall out of position. So if you want to get it a little bit tighter, you're gonna need a flat blade. I don't know, see how there's like super tension on that? Not sure that I like that. So we'll see. It just seems to be when it's at its full extension kind of thing. Putting a little extra tension because of how I liked the distance of the tube. I might have to kind of bring it in. So, but there's your ground wire. Ground wire is in there. Down inside the tube to get rid of some of that static electricity that builds up with the wind velocity on these backpack blowers. The puppy's out here with me. Sat down for a little bit of reading. So inside the manual, I was just curious to see if there was any kind of like break-in procedure. There's nothing. It basically just says mix 50-to-1 fuel and then just rip at it. The way I've always done things is, especially with like small engine equipment and stuff like that, there's a Lucas oil additive that I've always added. I'm not gonna do this right now. I'm gonna let this break in like usual. We're not gonna go full rocket ship with this thing. Idle it up, maybe see if I can get like some temperature into it, shut it off, and then let it cool down, and then fire it back up again. But just like any unit, this one's a little bit different. So they're saying on a cold start, which is technically, this is a cold start, pump the primer bulb 10 times. It's underneath the like air filter. It's kind of like a weird location. So you kind of like have to maneuver your hand in an odd way to get to the primer bulb, but it said pump the primer bulb 10 times, move the choke obviously to choke, but it also said to put the gas pedal to half throttle. Now with the Stihl, the way that goes is it has the choke, you put it to choke, and then there's like a mid-range section, so you choke it, primer bulb a couple of times, usually like 3-4 times or whatever, give it a rip. Usually like on the second or third try the thing fires up. This is like saying you gotta rip it like I think 3 to 10 times or 3 to 6 times. So we'll see. Hopefully it's the same kind of startup process. Like I said, I've got the fuel, it's all ready to go. It's the same fuel that I use in the Stihl, which is pretty cool. I'm glad to have the same mix because that just makes things easier. Yeah, I'm gonna just add fuel and take this thing for a rip and see if it works. Like I said, it's not thick ergonomic. It's not as ergonomic as what I'm used to. And I guess that's where I've been, there's a word that I'm trying to like come up with in my head. It's like, it's not there. It's not being, what the hell is the word, dude? I can't even think of what the word is. It's when you've been accustomed to something that's just more ergonomic, more easier, more, it's not being babied, it's something else. I forget what the word is, dude. My brain is rotting. Let's add some fuel and fire this thing up for its first shot. See how many times it takes to kick this thing over. So I got the fuel here. I'm not gonna use the muffs either right now. Got my fuel. Go ahead and crack this open. Wonder if this has got a tether. Ah, look at that. It's got a tether. So I'm not gonna put a ton of fuel in this, but just enough to get this thing fired up. So I want enough to be able to bury the fuel filter. There should be a fuel filter in there, so I'll probably end up draining the fuel, but who knows? We'll see. Damn, this thing takes a lot of fuel. Holy crap. This is probably a fuel hog. So that should be enough to saturate that filter. So, but yeah, this has got a pretty hefty tank. So, and the tank thickness is, it's better than I thought. So, I don't know what that is. But, so you never use pure gasoline. Use 90 grade fuel with 2-cycle engine oil, and then the mix ratio 50-to-1 right there. So let's see if we can prime this up, you'll see the primer bulb. Like I said, it's in a very odd position to get to, dude. Look at that. How do you get in there? Holy crap. Oh my God, dude, how do you get into there? There we go. There we go. See? So fuel is already into the system. Took like, I don't know, 6 pumps, I think. Fuel's already there. So that's the return line. Here's the feed line. So it says stuff like, you know, just common sense. If there's a leak, obviously, you know, don't keep going. Check for leaks. There's no leaks. I don't smell any fuel other than what I'm smelling from here. So got the choke, put the choke up, put this on the ground here. And the switch, put that to run. So it's gonna run and a stop. So I'm not gonna do the throttle like they were saying. Just want to see what happens. Fire it up right away. Talking like, you know, 500 horsepower, but wow. I said I was going to heat cycle this thing and everything, but you know what? Nah, I do. Let's just take this thing for a rip here. The straps, so it does have little rip things. I want to adjust this all the way out. Tighten that. Definitely get some vibration. Ooh, that's not gonna be bad, dude. That's pretty quiet. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Again, like I said, I'm not gonna full bore this thing just yet, but that's pretty quiet. Not going full bore, dude. I'm gonna go easy. See where my trigger is? Right about there. So probably about half trigger is what I'm doing. That's not bad. I'm gonna set the camera down. expected, but I'm pulling it a little bit more than half throttle, and it's doing a good job. That I was feeling is that idle. So you get kind of like a back massage at idle, but once you get over that idle brake, like right there, the vibration's gone out of my back. Totally gone right there. I feel like, you can feel it, like not totally gone, but you know what I'm saying? It's just got like that cammed lobe right now. Ooh, Vevor, huh? Wow. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be able to keep us track nice. All right, so should fire it. Let's see what we got here. Switch is in the off position. We'll put it to run, and we'll give it a crank. See what happens. It starts better than the Stihl does. I do have to adjust the handle though. It keeps wanting to like rotate. I just don't have it tight enough. But where it's located right now isn't bad. It's actually not bad, dude. Here I was talking about, yeah, I'm gonna heat cycle it and all that. Yeah, full SHI. It just goes right into ripping it, dude. I just can't help it. It's performing, man. Now granted, obviously longevity we'll see. It's sounding good though. I'm not full ripping it yet. I'm still holding back because I do want to kind of treat it right. That's how you should treat equipment. So, but it's doing the work. I swear I can feel I can feel like the static, little bits of like little, doesn't hurt or anything, it just, you can feel, it's almost like I think I can feel that static buildup. So the ground wire is stuffed in there. We'll have to see if the ground wire made it all the way to the end, because it kind of needs to go to the end. Stihl has like, well, that's interesting. Okay, so the on-off switch ain't working? What the hell's up with that? Ah, check that out. Switch ain't working. Holy crap! That's weird. Well, we'll have to see what's going on with that. That's a riot, dude. Can't shut it off, dude. Can't shut it off. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this thing off my back and see why it's not, dude, it's in the off position. That's funny. So the bullet might have been when I disconnected things. Okay, so the bullet might have been when it could have vibrated loose, but you can see, I think you can see in there, the bullet just disconnected. So I'm gonna flip this upside down, and it feels like the wire is really taut. So might have to just kind of pull on this wire a little bit, kind of get it into a different position. It's because I've got the handle so far forward, it's pulling on the wire. Yeah, see, that's exactly what it is. So it's weird that it doesn't have a way to strap the wire into a better position. China. So that's something that I'm gonna have to address, but at least the switch actually works. So there's your one flaw. That's your one flaw. That's a riot, dude. Gotta shut it off. It ain't shutting off. Like I said before, man, it doesn't take much to make me happy. Hey, while the Stihl is down, for the money for this thing, dude, while the Stihl is down, this thing has got some power. Yeah, dude. Not too stinking shabby. That's not bad. I'm happy with that. So anyway, it's RC Guy Garage, and this is me bringing to you the Vevor backpack blower that's just going to take the place of the Stihl until the Stihl is repaired. And then once that thing is repaired, I'm going to do some comparison videos, like power, like velocity, power. But I'll tell you right now, it was pushing wet leaves, so, and it was taking them out from underneath the dirt, which is a good thing. So that tells me right there that it's got some juice. So, and I'm not at full bore yet. Like I said, I'm going to hold off on that. I'm going to let the thing cool down, and then actually, you know what, let's fire it up right now. Let's see if it fires right up. Switch the, I'm going to make sure that that wire's, I want to make sure it stays connected. So I'm going to put this in a funky way here. Well, they really don't give you much room here. So the room to get into that, dude, you're going to have like small fingers to get in there. So I got to figure that out. I'm just going to connect that wire and I'll be back.